Hello everyone, this is Professor Gant. I am recording this video for students that are enrolled in my Math 1314 College Algebra online course at Tarrant County College. I'm recording this video as of fall 2018, but this video will also have the same information that you need if you're taking this course in subsequent semesters. I want to start off by making sure that you know the purpose of the video. The purpose of this video will serve as an orientation to let you know how to navigate through Blackboard, let you know what is available to you, as well as basic instructions on, having you locate basic instructions on where to sign up for MyMathLab, because the assignments in this course, for the most part, will be administered through MyMathLab. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I'm requesting that you do is that you read announcements. So that means you need to log in and read announcements at a minimum of 2 to 3 times a week. And so as you can see here, this is our current textbook information. You only need the access code for this course. There is no need to buy the physical textbook. If you just buy the access code, that'll give you everything that you need for this course. Some of you may want to buy the physical textbook, and of course you do have that option, but you can just buy the access code and you can buy it directly from Pearson. There's no need for you to actually have to buy it from the Tarrant County College bookstore. Okay. With that being said, in the announcements area, you also see here that you have a post here for the summary of due dates. Of course, depending upon which semester you're in, these dates may be different, but I want you to look at this because I want you to know that anytime you want to know the due date for a particular assignment, it will be posted here. And if I have to change because of, let's say, maintenance issues with Pearson or anything else that's going on that may delay students being able to get done with an assignment, then I'll make that change here. You will not find due dates in your course calendar for this course, and I'll put everything here for that reason. Also, if you can see here, it says subject line Math 1314, section number, your last name. This refers to students, whenever you reach out to me, you want to contact me, whether you're doing it via email or whether you're going to text me, I need to know what course you're in, what section number, and preferably your first and last name. But if you can just give me your last name, that will be enough. If you do that, then I'll know who you are, because sometimes I'm checking my messages on my phone and I may be away from my computer and my materials or whatnot for our course. And if you can let me know that information, I'll be able to respond to you in a more quick manner. And so if I don't have that information, then a lot of times I'll just respond back like, who is this and what course are you in? And of course that delays your response because I need to know exactly who I'm talking to, in what course, what section number, so that I can respond to you correctly and quickly. All right, so other than that, this is a post here about the discussion board, and the discussion board is something that is graded in the course, and I'm not going to read through this entirely. I'm just going to kind of go over the highlights of it. So there are points that are associated with the introduction as well as for each unit that we cover in this course. And in order to get points, full credit for the discussion board, there is at least one of 3 things that you must do. Okay, and so that's where these bullet points are. So for the first one, it says post at least 2 distinct questions. That is to say, homework or test problems or a concept vocabulary type problem, and respond to at least 2 of your classmates with a solution to different questions than what you asked. What that means is, when we're in a discussion board, naturally what will happen is that students will sort of ask, hey, I'm having problems with this particular concept or this particular homework question. Can someone help me out? Or you may have a situation where, let's say as a student, you were struggling with the problem, but you did figure it out. And then after you figured it out, you want to make sure that you're able to show your fellow classmates that, because someone else could benefit from what you went through as far as studying it, struggling with it, and finally got. So those things naturally happen in a discussion board. So this first bullet point is saying, hey, if you have two concepts or two homework questions or something like that that you are stuck on, and you want to reach out to some of your classmates to figure out, well, all right, well, can someone else clarify this topic for me because I'm not getting it? Then that's what part of that first bullet point is about, posting two questions like that. Now, if you're going to ask questions, then it means you need to also help and answer questions as well. So the part that says, and respond to at least two of your classmates, that is for saying, hey, if you're going to post questions on there, then it means you need to also answer other people's questions whenever they post things, provided that you know the answers to those, okay? And so if you post two questions and then answer two other people's questions, providing solutions or whatnot or explanations, then when I look at that, as I look over and I grade the discussion board for a particular unit, if I see that if you've had that activity, then you get full credit for that particular discussion board. Another way to earn points would be to post at least two type or handwritten solutions to a question not submitted by you on a discussion board for that unit. Okay, so what that means is let's say you should be keeping a journal of your problems that you do for your homework anyway. Okay, and so let's say for the homework you're like, hey, I don't know how to do some of these problems over here in this section, but I know, like in section 3.1, I know how to do two problems out of that. And so what you can do is, if you've written down your work, you can take a picture of it, form it as a PDF file, and then upload it into the discussion board area. And if you have two questions along with solutions to those questions that are like that, and just post them, you will get full credit for the discussion board there as well. And in my opinion, this is the easiest way to get full credit for the discussion board, because you're already doing the work anyway. All you need to do is just post what it is that you've already done. Okay. Now, the only thing that I require is that you post a problem that's different than what somebody else has already posted. Okay. So if you have one person that is working on section 3.1 and they've done problem number 4 in the homework, then I do not want you to also post the same question, 3.1 problem number 4, in the homework as well. Your numbers may be different, but the spirit of the problem is the same. And so we need different questions answered, because of course you're going to have people looking at this and they don't want to look at the same type of question 5 different times, because 5 people have submitted the same type of question. We need variety so that this particular discussion board is actually beneficial to people, so where they see a variety of different questions. Okay. Now, of course, the last bullet point just says that instead of having the two solutions that you may take a picture of or scan and upload, you can record yourself and make a video of just working out one of those questions. So let's say you state the problem, in the video or whatnot, and then you kind of go through how you would actually solve that particular problem, giving your explanation as you go along. That will suffice. And so with the videos, since you have to go through the trouble of processing the video, and of course I would recommend that you get a YouTube account and process the video there, and then just post the link in the discussion board area, versus just trying to upload the video itself into Blackboard, because the file may be kind of large. There's extra trouble that you have to go through to basically get a video that's available for your peers to see. So because of that, that's why I'm saying that you only have to record yourself doing one problem instead of giving the written solutions for 2 and just uploading that information. Okay. Now, again, same policy applies. You do not need to do a video of a problem that someone else has already done and posted, whether it's written or if it's in video form as well. We need a variety of problems, and of course that will be one of the things that I will be looking at. Who posted first, and if there are any duplicates, just understand that if your submission, whether it's a video or if it's a written solution that's uploaded, if it's a duplicate of something else that someone else has already done, then that's not going to count. Okay, so you need to make sure that you read through the discussion board area to see what's already out there before you decide to post your questions. All right, so with that being said, we also have some instructions here on how to purchase your textbook if you want to do it from the bookstore. Again, when you go through the registration process to get MyMathLab working here with Blackboard, because this course is sort of synced with MyMathLab for our course, you'll find that you should be able to order the access code for our particular course directly from Pearson. But if you want to get it from the bookstore, then of course you can follow these steps as well to do that. Okay. All right, so with that being said, what I want to do now is we'll go ahead and talk about some of the other things that's in this course. And I want to switch to student mode so that you can see exactly what it is that you'll see the way that you'll see it, because I still have it in instructor mode here. So we're going to switch this for a second, then we'll continue. All right, so from here, of course, the instructor contact info, this is my information. You have my email, you have my mobile number. Fastest way to get in contact with me is to either text me or give me a call. Email, I prefer that too, but give me a little while to be able to respond to you. And I'm only saying that because depending upon my teaching schedule, I may be in class, and when you email me, I may not be able to get back to you as fast as I would if you were texting or just calling me. Okay. Now, of course, if you call and I'm teaching, then I still can't answer. But just letting you know, you got several different avenues to get in contact with me. If you have reached out to me and I have not responded back to you in 36 hours, which is like a day and a half, then by all means, you need to reach out to me again, because something may have happened to where I may have lost a message, or I may think that I have replied to you, but I haven't actually hit send or something like that. So just give me a chance there, and make sure that if I haven't contacted you within that day and a half time period, just to reach out to me again. Okay. I pride myself on trying to be very responsive to students. So having a message in my inbox for like 3-4 days and you haven't heard anything from me, that is a rarity. Okay. So if I haven't responded to you in that long, just know that something's wrong, or I haven't gotten your message because of something that may be out of my control. All right, so of course this link is where you can actually see your grades. Your grades will not be current as far as like your homework average, your quiz average, and all that good stuff. That stuff won't be current. Just because of how the course goes, I take your homework average and your quiz average as part of your test grades, as well as your quizzes as well. And so I periodically update those throughout the course. So if it's a 16-week course, I may update those every, let's say, 3 to 4 weeks. If it's a 8-week course, then we may update every 2 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, so the main thing is that whenever you're inside of MyMathLab, you'll be able to see what your homework average is, you'll be able to see what your quiz average is, and you'll know what your test scores are. So you can kind of get a good idea of how you're doing in the class just from that. Okay, but there will be times I will go in and actually update everything, and that'll also be along with the discussion boards that I have to grade and update, and I will let the the class know that, hey, I've went in and I've updated grades up to this point. If you have questions, let me know about it. All right, so with that being said, when you first jump into Blackboard here, you probably want to come to this Start Here folder. And this Start Here folder just has some basic information on how to get started. The student profile survey is something that you do want to fill out. It is required for me to certify you in this course. And certify just means that I have it on official record that I'm telling the federal government that, hey, this student actually came to class or participated in class at least once and did a meaningful activity, okay? And doing a student profile survey is part of one of those activities that must be done. The other one, of course, is making sure that you're actually registered into MyMathLab and that you're actively participating. And I'll look to see by the cert date, have you at least started to do one assignment, okay? Now, other than that, of course, we have our TCC Blackboard classroom and MyMathLab classroom. And MyMathLab classroom is where you will be working at most of the time. You'll be working assignment-wise in TCC Blackboard whenever you have your discussion board questions. All right. So in this folder, you have your ICR, Syllabus and Calendar. This is a district syllabus. It's generic for all Math 13-14 classes. This is the document that you need to look at and read through thoroughly to make sure that you understand the policies and expectations of this course. Inside of this, it also gives you a breakdown of how you're graded in the course, how much attendance is worth, how many times you can miss attendance-wise, and how I actually grade attendance. It also talks about the discussion board and how I grade those. So all that information is in this document here. And of course, this is your weekly calendar. And the calendar is just there just to kind of let you know, hey, if you're going to stay on pace, this is the rate in which you need to be completing these assignments to be able to finish the course efficiently and comfortably, okay? Now, next, we just have the materials area here, and this is just an overview of what you saw in the announcements, but the main thing here is for the computer requirements. For you to be able to run MyMathLab or Proctorio, which is going to be the third-party software that we're going to use to be able to have your midterm and final exams proctored, you need to make sure that you meet these minimum computer requirements for that. Now, this particular link, the MyMathLab link here, is going to be one of the most important links that you will access in this course, okay? And the reason I say that is because here, this is where you will actually go in and access all of your assignments. Now, when you officially go into here, you're not going to see this. What the system will do is prompt you to be able to go in and sign in with MyMathLab. And if you haven't used MyMathLab before, it'll have it'll have a little thing telling you, hey, this is what you need to do. You'll see the instructions for how to get you started with this particular process here. It'll actually be in here. And so I don't have it posted here right now because I just got through building the course, but you'll see it down here on the course calendar. I'll have that information available for you on how to get started, okay? But once you're there, then of course what you'll do is click on all assignments, and then of course it'll just take you through this process here. I'll see if this will actually do it since I'm in student mode, but if not, then of course you still have some instructions. So I'll come here and see what it does. Okay, so this one's already linked. So once everything is done, you'll see that, hey, you have all your assignments here, okay? Since I am already in MyMathLab here, one of the things that I do want to do is I want to show you a few things. First, let's say you just want to work on your homework, then you can come down here to this drop down menu, and now you have all your homework here. If you just want to look at quizzes and tests, then you can come here. And if you can see here, you have your exam, midterm exam here, and your final exam here that are remotely proctored. And so we'll be using Proctorio with that. One thing that you also see is that you do have a practice midterm exam and you do have a practice final exam, okay? And so here I highly recommend that you look at the practice midterm and final exam, work it out at least twice, and also look at the midterm and final practice exam that I have filled out, because I actually do a version of it and I write all my answers and how I go about solving everything. I think if you look at what I work and how I do it and try to model that, as well as work through the midterm and final exam practice exams at least twice, that will bring you the best success in this course as far as getting good grades on those particular exams. All right, so the only other thing I want to say about MyMathLab as far as dealing with the homework, and I'm just going to go to a basic homework assignment here. So let's say I go to section 2.3, number 13. For this problem, let's say that you're not sure how to do it, okay? So here you can come and look, we have help me solve this, view an example, textbook, ask my instructor. So what help me solve this does exactly what it says. It's going to help you solve it. But when you do that, and I click on this, do you see how I have this red X right here? What that's basically saying is, hey, the system will help you go through this problem, but you're going to have to do one on your own without any help me solve this assistance. So, and of course, help me solve this is interactive. And I'm just going to click anything here. I'll click something else if I'm not going to really pay attention. All right, and so then you go and you see how it's interactive. So once it helps you get through this particular problem, you kind of know how the problem works. You can close that, and then of course, I don't know if you noticed it, but the problem changed, okay? And that's normally what happens. If you had a problem where it was more so, hey, you got these functions or whatnot, the algorithm that's involved in these problems will make the numbers change in the problem. And so now from here is asking you to do one on your own. If you don't want to go through the interactive component, then what you want to do is use view an example, okay? And of course, this is sort of a static version of help me solve this, where you can just kind of click through and kind of read along and get an idea of how to do the problem. If none of that helps, then of course you can go to your textbook here, and when you click on this, it will open up the textbook for you. And that's one of the reasons why I was saying that you don't necessarily need the physical textbook, because you'll have it come up right here. And when it happens, the only thing that's a little different is that when this comes up, and let me shrink this because it's getting too big here. So when it comes up, the only thing that is different is that whatever section that homework problem came in, it's limited to that section. So for instance, this is section 2.3, problem number 85. It's the 85th exercise for that particular section. So here, this will you're only going to see pages in the textbook for all of section 2.3. You can't skip back to section 2.2, can't go up to section 2.4. So all this will stay just within section 2.3 here, okay? All right, so if all else fails, then of course you can always go here to ask my instructor. And here, what you can do is just type me a message saying what you need help on. If you go this route, I would appreciate it if you are very specific with your questions. The more specific you are with your questions, the more specific I can be with an answer. If you're like, hey, I really don't know what I'm doing here, I really don't understand what the other tools are trying to show me, then just say that. But in a separate email, I would like for you to email me a picture of your work so that I can analyze that as well, because that helps me to be able to sort of respond to you quickly. Because sometimes I may be able to look at your work and tell you what you've done wrong, and then from there you can fix your problem versus I have to go work the problem again from scratch. And when I'm looking at your message, I may not be in a position to be able to work the problem from scratch. So, it's an instance to where you may have to get a delayed response from me because I'm not in a place where I actually got pencil and paper and whatnot, and I can actually work on the problem. So I would recommend that you send me a separate email with your work. If you have just, hey, I need some help. When you send this Ask My Instructor message to me, it will send me a link directly to the problem that you're working on. And that's good for me because I can go directly and see what it is that you're talking about without me having to go log into Blackboard, MyMathLab, and all that other stuff. Okay. And if I'm kind of on the go, I can look at what you've done and maybe address what your issues are immediately so that you can get a faster response from me. So the Ask My Instructor tool is a good one to use. It's just that if you really don't know where you're going wrong, I would need an additional email with the work that you have done so that I can use that to analyze and get back to you as soon as I can. So, all right, and so that is the bulk of what I want to talk about with the MyMathLab portion of this. So I'm going to go back to here in a second. So the only other thing I want to say about this is that here, the browser check, I'm going to recommend that you download Google Chrome if you don't have it already and do a browser check on that just to make sure everything is working properly with MyMathLab. Part of the reason why I'm asking you to download Google Chrome is because whenever you take your midterm and your final exams, we are using the software called Proctorio, and Proctorio is a remote proctor add-in app that's associated with Google Chrome. So the only way you're going to be able to take your midterm and final exam will be to use Google Chrome and install this Proctorio remote proctoring software. So you might as well just download it and use Chrome all the time. So that's just sort of my opinion. Okay. All right. So with that being said, you do have some other things that are available to you inside of MyMathLab. And I'm going to see if I can actually get to them here. So let's, need to leave that. Yeah, okay, so this is what I wanted to see. So here again, if you click on course home, then you'll get to this page here. And what I want to talk about here is the Multimedia Library. So the Multimedia Library is sort of like the central hub for all of the media content in this course. So here you can come and let's say you want to go to chapter 3, section 3, and you want to look at the textbooks and PowerPoints and animation and the video. You have access to all that information here. Okay? One of the things I tried to do, if you go to the homework, is you'll see how I have homework, then media, homework, media. And so the media is just basically all the stuff that you're seeing inside of the Multimedia Library. It's just specific stuff that's pointed out. But you can always go here to the Multimedia Library to access your textbook, PowerPoints, videos, or anything else that you're trying to get to that's involved with MyMathLab in this course here quickly, okay, without necessarily going to your homework or test and quizzes list. All right, other than that, the only other thing I want to say is for your gradebook. Your gradebook, you can kind of keep track of what you've done, how long you've worked on it by coming here. And if you want to go and review your homework, of course, you can come here and click on review. If you wanted to review a quiz that you worked on, you would also be able to come to your gradebook and review that. You will not have the ability to review your midterm and your final exam. So just want to let you know that up front. And in saying that, whenever you take your midterm and final exam, it would be very beneficial if you were to jot down enough of each question that you're working on, so that you could solve it even if you couldn't actually read the problem inside of MyMathLab for your exam after you've already started working on a problem. So I'm just saying that because you may recognize as you're working the test that, hey, you know what, I forgot a sign or I did this wrong, and you go and correct yourself before you actually submit submit the work that you need to upload to me. Once you're out of the test, you won't be able to get back into it, but you can still make that correction before you upload it. And of course, that'll probably work in your favor because I'll see the difference in answers and give you credit for it. Okay. All right. So that being said, that's all I'm going to say about MyMathLab. You'll be able to figure out the rest as you kind of work through everything. So I'm going to get rid of this page here. All right, so of course, this particular folder for the Netiquette, this is just addressing formally the conduct that we need to have online with each other. In short, we just need to make sure that everyone is respectful, and that everyone respects everyone's opinions, and we don't have anything on here that's kind of out of place. So I'm pretty sure we won't have those problems, but just have to say it. Now for the discussion board replies, again, these are, if you read through these are the things that we're expecting. Anyone who has any kind of posts that are out of line or whatnot, of course, I'll remove them, and then there will be reprimands along with that as well. All right, so next is a discussion board area. And so this is where you'll go to make your initial discussion board post and your unit discussion board post. Your initial discussion board post actually involves two separate posts. One is just introducing yourself, and another one will talk about what are the things that you do to help you learn math or make math easier to learn. And so you need to respond to both of these to get full credit for the first discussion board, which is the initial or introductory discussion board assignment. For the rest of these are the 5 virtual study group discussion board areas where if you remember, I went in detail about the discussion board policies and at least one of the 3 things you needed to do in order to be able to earn full credit. This is where you would post that particular information. Okay. All right, so for those of you that may need some graphing paper or formula sheets for your test, this formula sheet you will be allowed to use on any given test, but you won't be able to use anything else. No notes, no old homework or anything like that. It is just you, paper, pencil, pen, calculator, and formula sheet on test. That is it. Of course, if you need to graph something, graph paper will be here to help you out as well. Now, your course evaluation, that's something that you can do towards the end. I do encourage you to fill it out because, again, I'm looking for feedback. I need to know what's good about the course, what can be improved, and of course, we read these evaluations and improve our course accordingly. Now, over here in the course notes and supplements area, I have this folder here, the quiz and exam written work. This is where you're actually going to upload your written work for this course, as far as your quizzes and exams are concerned. So if you notice here, I've put a little snippet about Cam Scanner, which is an app that you can put on your phone to take pictures of your written work and then form it as a single PDF file, which is what I require for you to upload your work as if you're going to upload written work. Okay, written work that's not typed. So here I have links to all of the quizzes in the course. and the corresponding place where you can go upload that written work. Also have links here for the midterm and final exam as well. Okay, so all that is readily and available to you. All you need to do is just click it, do it. Please remember that for all quizzes, they are not proctored assessments. So you don't have to worry about having proctorial for that. But for the midterm and the final exam, you do need to have proctorials set up and installed. Okay. Now, with that being said, well, how do you get that? So let's skip down to that now. So if I go to the midterm info folder, this should be midterm exam info folder, but here, this particular link is a link to a web page that will have several videos on it that will kind of go through the process for how do you actually get proctorial set up on your computer and get everything working, and what's the process going to be when you get ready to take an exam. Of course, your midterm exam dates, there will be a window of time where you will have those dates, and you'll see those again in the announcement area in Blackboard. So I have a midterm review, and what all I've done is just taken a practice version of the midterm exam and I worked it out. And so I encourage you to check out what I've done in addition to working through the practice exam in MyMathLab on your own at least twice. And of course, this is the information that you need as far as knowing how long you have, what kind of calculator you have, knowing what materials you need, so on and so forth. So from here, and of course you have your formula sheet there as well, so you can download it from there if need be. All right, so moving on here, you see that we have the same type of information for the final exam info, and so it's just very similar to what we have here, but there will be a final exam review there instead of a midterm exam review. So last thing that I want to go through here is, are these particular unit folders. So in these unit folders, and I'll just go to the first one, you'll see that you have a link to some lecture notes that I have for the course. There's also a course link to the discussion board area, which will take you back in here. You have a course link to get to your homework, which is really just a link back to here. And of course, from there, you'll see that page where we had all the assignments listed. In addition to that, if you have already worked out your quiz and you need to upload, let's say, quiz 1 and quiz 2 for both chapters 1 and 2 in unit 1, then of course this is a quick link to get to this folder here where you can actually upload that work. Okay. And of course for this one I have nothing there, but you'll see that for some of these I will have stuff posted here. Okay. Let's say for unit 4, for this one I have unit 3 videos, and so here you can see how I have some videos that are here. These videos that I post are videos that are made by me. So you'll get my perspective on how you need to go about certain problems. And so these, of course, are links to videos that come from my YouTube channel that I have. And of course, same thing, link to discussion board, homework, and any quiz artifacts, which is just a fancy way of saying any written work that you need to submit. Here's where you want to do it. And so with that pretty much covers everything that you need to know for this course. Please make sure that you take the time to go through everything, make sure you're familiar with each folder and what's in it, and of course get started on your work. If you have any questions, please let me know sooner rather than later, and good luck to you, and I'll be looking forward to working with you throughout this semester. Take care.